Hi, it's Jen and Tammy back with a woolly mug rug for September.
Yeah.
Of course, there's apples and schoolhouses, so Casey designed the cutest project that incorporated both. We have our cute little schoolhouse, our apple tree, and of course, we had to put a few apples on the ground for the apples don't fall too far from the tree.
That's right.
Just for the fun of it. Had a
right.
great time with that. If you are new to the Woolly Mug Rug series, this started several months ago. You might want to go back to our very first video, which was that a February project?
Yes.
Was
so
it February?
The video was in January.
Okay.
The project was February
So
Hearts.
we have more details always in the beginning of a series. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're coming out with projects like this. We've got the table glitz, which is behind us for September. That's been a fun series. People are really loving that to decorate their table each month of the year. So you can always subscribe. On our homepage, if you go to the downloads, which is at the very, very bottom, click on free download, you'll be able to download the Schoolhouse Woolly Mug Rug. And then again, just subscribe to the YouTube channel so you're the first to know when we have new and fun projects for you to do. Of course, there's a kit available. There's also a thread set. We are making the black separate because that's what's stitching around the edge, and we know you don't need that over and over again.
You don't need 12 blacks.
No. I'm sure you'll use it eventually, but probably don't need all of that. So that's a separate purchase. Tammy will be going over the threads more a little bit later. But once you get your Woolly Mug Rug diagrams downloaded, just like we've done before, you'll have fusible webbing and you'll also have freezer paper.
Correct.
And you will want to trace your circle on one on each of those and iron that to the back of your wool and cut out on the line. So I have one here that's the fusible, one here that's the freezer paper, and we make sure that we're doing our applique on the one that has the freezer paper.
That's correct.
We don't want to be going through the fusible webbing because it's just another layer of the thread to have to get through.
Exactly. So it's nice and soft when you're stitching.
So we're going to peel off that freezer paper. And the thing that's nice about freezer paper is you can use this again and again.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, the fusible is a one-time shot, but you really don't need to trace this month over month. Just save it. So if you are doing the series, you can just bring that forward. It's one less thing to do.
Do it again.
So once we have that ready to go, we're going to be using our reverse for fusible diagram. If you're going to be doing fusible applique, some of you might not want to be doing fusible webbing. Some people don't like fusible webbing. In that instance, you would just be using this to trace your shapes. We went ahead, of course, and did use the fusible webbing. I like that it's down.
I do
it's
too.
Not moving
it's not
while
moving
we're
anywhere.
stitching it.
Yeah.
And
down.
so you'll just, same process using your fusible web, trace around each of the shapes, pick your favorite wool if you're using your own stash. Of course, our kit will have the exact wool that you're seeing here. Iron everything down to the background. I know we drew some lines for the window panes.
Yeah.
And you can just kind of free form where you want the apples. But now this is where you get to show us
the fun part.
The fun part. This is because I wanted something fun to represent the apple.
It looks like an apple.
Yeah,
I like
so
that
show
stitch.
us what you did.
Okay, so I started with the razzle thread. This is razzle. This thread tends to be a bit squirrely. So to tame that thread down, I use Thread Magic, and I simply open this up, I put my thread in, and I just run it through. And you can
look how away.
See how straight it is now? It took that wave out of that thread.
Let me do that. And these last forever. I mean, these, I think you have, you probably couldn't
We've been
go
using
for this.
that for a long time. Yeah.
I would say almost a year.
Oh, yeah.
I know what you're talking about. It kind of takes the twist out of it because
it does.
Naturally thread is wound fairly tight around these spools and it naturally is going to have a twist.
It just comes off and
so
it's squirrely.
It tends to kind of just keep it less likely to be knotted.
In check. Yes, exactly. Threading this thread can be a challenge because it does tend to fray at the end. I like the clover needle threader.
I love that needle threader.
I'm going to use a Sue Spargo's a milliner's size 1. I love these needles. They are so easy to thread. See how it's all twisting apart there? We're going to put it in. You see how big your eye is now. And we're just going to stick this in here like this and draw it through. Just that
Boy,
quick.
that's a no-brainer. I mean, that's just
Isn't that
so
fun?
now.
Right away,
Yeah.
you've got it threaded, okay? I love this needle threader. Okay, so we are going to be doing a Chinese knot.
Okay.
And if you have the Creative Stitching book, that's fantastic. You can follow along with us. We are on page 56 for the Chinese knot. This is an amazing book. We love this book.
Well, I love, like, if you haven't seen before, or even if you have seen, I give credit here to Sue for putting together just such a comprehensive variety of stitches. To be honest with you, until I was really introduced and met Sue, I knew my backstitch, I knew my French knots, my lazy daisy.
Yeah. The basic stitches.
It was basically on one hand.
That's right.
And so, thanks to Sue and to you for demonstrating these. I now have two hands, and I'm taking my shoes off.
Taking your toes. That's right. That's good.
So it's a great book to have.
It's a wonderful book.
It'll obviously extend well beyond the Woolly Mug Rug series. And it's just nice to have when you want to add a beautiful stitch.
That's right. That's right.
And everything's full color.
Exactly. Okay, so to begin a Chinese knot, we are going to come up from the back, and I'm going to put an apple right here. So I'm going to make a loop. To make a loop, I'm going to hold my thread in my left hand. I'm going to take my needle and pass it behind the thread. You see, whoops, did you see that? Don't let go of your loop.
Don't let go.
Don't let go or you remake your loop. There's my loop. Okay? Now I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to put it right back down, right where I came up. I'm going to put it through a little bit. Now I'm going to take my loop and I'm just going to adjust it because I don't want an apple that big.
Oh.
I just want a little loop for an apple.
Look at that.
I just adjust it down and pull through.
That's cool.
Look how cute that is.
And guys, I purposely don't let Tammy show me her stitches beforehand.
You don't even know what I'm doing.
So I am totally seeing this with you for the first time.
For the first time. Okay, so let's do it again. So we come up, and I'm going to take my thread. I'm going to hold it with my left hand. I'm going to take my needle and pass it behind my thread and make my loop. Maybe. Don't let go of your loop.
So I see you have to have like a little twist in it, huh?
There is a little twist. So your thread's here.
Okay.
Needle goes behind. Let's do it like this. Then you guys can see that better. Okay? And then I'm going to take, there's my loop.
Gotcha.
Okay? I'm going to take my needle and it goes straight back down right where I came up. I'm going to poke my needle in a little bit. I'm going to hold my thumb there and I'm just going to start adjusting my loop so it looks like an apple. And then I'm going to pull it through, just like that.
That is
Isn't that cute?
Cute.
I love that.
Wow.
It looks like a little apple. Fun?
That is precious.
I love that.
And so the rest of the shapes are basically, is it a whip stitch?
Yes, yes. And we just use the wool threads from this kit. I just use a little chenille needle,
okay,
like this, with your wool thread, and we just whip stitch all this down,
okay,
so that it hangs onto it. I also use the dazzle thread. I love this thread.
That's this one.
Isn't that beautiful?
If it's got glitter,
I'm using it.
I'm probably buying it.
I'm using it, yeah. This one, we just did our simple chain stitch. I love that chain stitch to outline. It just looks so beautiful on there. So you're just going to come up.
Oh, wow. It is pretty how it just frames that door.
It does. It frames the door. Your thread goes to the right, and I'm going to go right back where I started, up. You're going to wrap counterclockwise and right through. Done. See that little chain stitch we made? So now to get them to link together, I'm just going to go back down in the loop and back up, wrap my thread counterclockwise, and pull it through. Ta-da!
Oh.
See that? And it just chains them right
pretty?
together all the way down. When you're ready to end the stitch, just take it to the back.
Yeah. And tie off.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And tie off. Okay, so once you get all your embellishing done on here, you are going to take your not your freezer paper, excuse me, your fusible web.
Yep.
And then we're going to open this up.
I know it's coming.
You know it's coming.
I
Get that
do.
iron ready. Yeah. We're going to take this off of here, and we're going to put this on, and we are going to Use a wool pressing mat. This is a woolly pressing mat we have. This little 8.5-inch size is perfect for sitting right beside my machine or right in my stitching area. It
Yes.
doesn't take up a lot of space.
Right.
So it's just nice to have it small enough and perfect for this project. I would flip this upside down so that the wool, this woolly mat is going to absorb this wool.
And
so
the
it doesn't
stitching.
crush it,
That's
right?
true.
Yeah, we don't want to crush it. Like that, and
Yep.
we give it a good press.
Yep, we'll just give it a good press.
Give
And of
it a
course,
good
I'm not
press with
now
this.
because we have a lot more stitching
I have a lot more stitching to do on there, but
you
that's
get the
right.
idea.
Yes,
Well-
and then we'll do a blanket stitch around the outside with your black thread to finish it.
Wow.
Just like that.
So cute.
So cute.
I know
love
people are
this
enjoying
series.
that.
It's
If you
beautiful.
enjoyed learning this today, we'd love to get some feedback from you. And be sure to join us for the Woolly Mug
Yep.
Mug for October. We'll see you
Already.
then.
Bye.
What's he doing? What are you doing? Are we going? Ever?
Oh, he's still moving the camera. I like this.
Teacher, she's picking. She's breathing on me.
Want to trade places yet?
Folks, we're going to start a new program at Shabby Fabrics.